episode of Sports and Songs Podcasts. We're your hosts, Dan and Andy. Today is season 4, episode number 31. Tonight's episode is a sports edition. We're talking to you live here June 12th, 2023. We got a special guest for an introduction for the beginning portion of the show. Jeremy, or Andy, do you want to introduce Jeremy?
Jeremy is Watertown Red Devils. Superfan's kind of an overblown term, but I guess if you want to go with that. The champ is here. He's known to heckle the other teams, heckle the umpires, kiss the umpire's ass like we did Sunday at Brownton a little bit, have fun with them. But we wanted to kind of show up other teams' super fans as well. He's got a challenge, history making, something that we at the show here are going to probably sponsor. And then Jeremy left us.
We are going to sponsor it. Yes.
There he is. Yep. We're going to sponsor you, Jeremy.
There we go.
Go ahead. You take the ball and describe what you're going to be doing.
Okay, so this is a challenge that I have done before, and we're gonna bring it to town ball because who else has ever done this in town ball, and I'm thankful for you guys for wanting to come and join this crazy journey with me and be the sponsor of this. Truly appreciate it. So what we're doing, it's called the 999 challenge. And if you're wondering what that is, it's 9 beers, 9 hot dogs in 9 innings. Pretty self-explanatory. It's
now, Jeremy, explain it to the fans because not all of our fans have self-explanatory knowledge here. So break it down. Just go over it all again one more time. It's a very interesting concept. Many have heard of it, but I think many have not. So go through it one more time. Okay,
so it's 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, and 9 innings. So it's you do a beer and a hot dog per inning, and you kind of try to just keep it that way. It's kind of, I don't want to say that word again, self-explanatory, but, you eat a hot dog, you drink a beer per inning, and then, hopefully you finish the challenge by, the top of the 9th, because you never know with Watertown being the home team, they might not get in at bat. So that 9th inning might be the challenge, but yeah, that's all it is. It's just 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings. That's all it is, really.
We do have to explain it kind of slow because we do have people in Chaska who listen. So
ouch.
Explain for them.
So what it means by sponsoring it, Andy and Jeremy, is really we're going to just foot the bill.
We're picking up the concession tab.
It's the 9 beers, 9 beers times the cost of the beer there at Watertown, 9 hot dogs, 9 times the cost of a hot dog there, and also I'm sure the admission to get into the ball game. That's really it. So add that up, tally that up, and we'll pull our money here together, Andy, and we'll cover this young man's expense for this challenge, and hopefully other super fans in the Crow River or the North Star League or the DRS, mind you, whoever they want to do this could become a popular thing, right, Jeremy?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, there's random people that have done it at major league stadiums, but why not bring it to town ball, especially in Minnesota? I mean, especially in Watertown, we're trying different things. And, for something for baseball day, which is going to be on, and it's going to be a great matchup against Mayor too. So it's going to be a fun day. We're just hoping for the weather to be good. But like I said, it's also baseball day where we're going to have the Junior Legion playing beforehand, and then it's the Red Devils game, and then it's the C playing after the Red Devils. So it's just going to be a great day in Watertown, and then, to hopefully add a little excitement with me doing this challenge, and then with you guys sponsoring it with everybody in Watertown that knows your guys' podcast. So it should be a fun day.
And just if anyone knows Dan and I, you're damn right, we're using our CRVL bar cards those days too. We're going to take advantage of those. Take advantage of the buckets. That's 6 of them in the bucket. 7, 8, 9 with our bar cards, we're set. And we got that spare one in case we go 10 innings.
Now, Jeremy, I've got a question, and others may ask this too. You do the challenge, you're assuming it's going to go 9 innings, but if there's a 10-run lead, it ends in 7. What happens then? Is the challenge off? You have to do it again another time? or what happens then in that situation?
Well, if it gets to that point, I'm going to try to finish it in 7 then.
Oh my!
That's why we picked Mayor, because I'm pretty sure it won't be a 10-run rule against Mayor.
Yeah,
Mayor's good
yeah.
this season. They're up there in the standings, and Watertown obviously as well. They're currently ranked number 4 in the state.
Yeah.
This should be a good matchup, and I'm guessing it will not go 7. And how about a scenario where weather comes in, the game is called after 6 innings or something like that? Is there a backup plan then as well, or you just plug along and play it out, let it play out as it happens?
Yeah, I think that's just the plan right now. I haven't really fully read what the rules are for sure. I just know the basic where it's, a beer and a hot dog per inning, and then hopefully you finish it. Hopefully you finish it before the game's over. So
now, how strenuous is the practicing for this?
Well, as you guys know, I started in Broughton. I did a hot dog and a beer there because I wanted to do a little trial run and see how it went. And I think it went all right. And the hot dogs in Broughton were delicious. So if they're like that in Watertown, I've never had a hot dog in Watertown. So hopefully if they're like that, I mean, it should go pretty well.
Awesome.
And Kip Lazar has been made aware of this too. So this could be.
Now, what is the date? Once again, what is the date of this event so the listeners can jot it down?
So this will be on July 15th, and I believe the game is supposed to be at 3:00. I think the Junior Legion is at noon, and then the Red Devils are in between, and then the Senior Legion is supposed to be at about 6 or 7, I think. So
right.
July 15th.
Well, best of luck there, Mr. Quass, Jeremy, the superfan for the Watertown Red Devils. Now, anything else in the hopper? Anything else in the works that you want to mention here on the show?
Yeah, one more thing with next Friday. We are facing Maple Lake at 7:30. If anybody knows them, that's #ShoeBeerNation. It should be a good game. They went to state last year just like we did. Should be great. We're going to do my second annual beer can snake night. Now, if you ever seen, 10,000 Takes is the one that really got it started in Minnesota, but it actually originated with like the Washington, I think it's that XFL team. They kind of did the beer can or the beer snakes with cups,
the DC
but obviously
Defenders.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yep. They did it because obviously at MLB stadiums, they got draft beer, but, like I said, Minnesota Town Ball, not many people have that. So we do it with beer cans, obviously. And we're just going to try and build a bigger snake than we did last year. And then take it around the bases again, like we did. So that was fun last year. So one more thing I do want to mention, guys.
Yes, please go ahead.
I just want to mention the day after too is that 75 years of lights being up at Highland, and we were facing the original team that we faced that night in the Hutchinson Huskies. So it's going to be run almost like town ball. There's going to be music, parking lot party, tailgate party on the bar back for the. And there's going to be activities for the kids, for everybody, free ice cream. There's going to be all sorts of stuff. So that's another one too. It's back-to-back days. We want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, the Watertown Area Chamber of Commerce, for being a big supporter of that day as well. So
yeah, that's excellent because Watertown was one of the biggest successes of the Fox 9 Town Ball Fox 9 Town Ball Tour, I should say. And when they came into Watertown, it was a great success. So they're going to do it again now. It's going to be June 24th on a Saturday night. Or Saturday, is that day?
Yep.
And
yes, that is correct.
You're going to do the big
7:30 game.
Activities for the kids, activities for the adults, a lot of baseball, a lot of activities, ice cream. The beer tent. It's a great thing. They're doing that, and it'll be fun. So
And the best part is free admission too. So I mean, bring everybody down. It's going to be, like I said, for the kids, activities for adults. There's going to be ice cream. I'm sure there's going to be giveaways throughout the night.
A petting zoo, maybe.
It's going to be a fun time.
So it's free. I didn't know this. That game on that Saturday is free admission.
Yep, free admission.
Wow.
Courtesy of the area Watertown Area Chamber of Commerce. They stepped up again. They've been a great partner the past 2 years with the Red Devils. I think the Red Devils would say the same thing. It's been a great partnership with the chamber,
with the local businesses and everything. It really brought a lot of people in. We went to that event. Andy and I were there last year, and it was packed. And so doing this event this year is going to be something similar to that. And it sounds like they want to make it an annual thing, and that the lights they put up there, this is the Watertown Red Devils against the Hutchinson Huskies in the 75-year anniversary of putting up lights and installing lights at Watertown's field. And it was the same matchup 75 years ago on the very day, was it?
Yep.
Was it the very date anniversary?
Yeah, I think we're coming to the exact day, yeah.
So
the exact day, yep.
This event. It's a non-conference, but Hutchinson also ranked, I think, 7th in the state of Minnesota for Class C. So be sure to bring the family and kids out to that event too, with a great non-conference matchup there at Highland Park.
Should be fun.
All right, thanks, Jeremy.
We'll let you go, Jeremy. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you out
there.
All right,
thanks, guys.
Thanks for
see
being
you now.
here.
All right, thanks, guys. Fly the W.
Yes.
Fly the W. Attaboy. All right, so if you want to get out the trivia question there, sir, we'll go on with our regular show.
Tonight's trivia question, before we start the show, and then I'll hand it over to Andy for the all ever popular high school softball, baseball segment, Major League Baseball, everything else we're going to cover.
Yeah.
Lots to cover tonight. But I'm wearing the Seattle Mariners cap, and it has something to do with the trivia. So this year's All-Star game for Major League Baseball is held in Seattle. The question is, how many times has Seattle hosted the All-Star game in the past? So they're hosting it this July, Seattle Mariners, and this is not the first time they've hosted it. They have hosted it, so the answer is not 0. But how many times has Seattle hosted the Midsummer Classic? We'll have the answer at the end of the episode.
All right. I'll have to think about that one. All right, I do have some stuff to bring up. Let me go in here.
There we go.
There we are. Fastest growing podcast in all of Western Carver County.
Oh, exactly.
Start with our softball state champs. 4A, Rosemont over Forest Lake, the 1 and 3 seeds. 3A was Mankato East over Chisago Lakes, 11-0.
Chisago, yeah, and this is held at Caswell Park in Mankato, North Mankato. So it's very much a home presence, home field.
Mankato had
for
nice
Mankato East. Hats off to the champs.
Dilworth over St. Charles. St. Charles had to come from behind in the last inning in the first round against Watertown, and they made it to the finals there. And Edgerton, Southwest Minnesota Christian over Badger. Now, the Edgerton one, their bracket on their side, they were the 5 seed, so they beat the 4. Uppsala upset the number 1 seed Randolph on that same side.
Okay.
Edgerton, and they barely won that game. So Edgerton didn't have a cakewalk when they saw, the 1 seed lost. They barely won their second round game. So it was good games all around over there for the girls at the state softball tournament. Now the boys baseball is all set. And there we go. This is all courtesy of PBR Baseball Minnesota, their Instagram page at these logos off of. So you see the quarterfinals, Sartell and Rosemont. This is all 4A. Anoka Edina, Mounds View, Minnetonka, Lakeville South, and Eastridge. Now I was going to plug the alma mater here for a little bit. Minnetonka, the 3 seed. This is a big deal for them. Last year they won 4 games.
Okay.
Now they're in the state tournament this year as a 3 seed. So
the other, that's congrats to them. The other thing is Sartell, moving up to the big schools, and they find themselves in the final 8 in the state tournament. Hats off. Very good program. They also have very good town ball program up there in Sartell.
Which kind of helps the high school, kind of dribbles down a little bit, but it helps.
Yeah, the feeder program there to the town ball.
3A, Little Falls, New Prague. Badil St. Margaret, Monticello is your top half of the bracket. And Byron, Montemedi, Grand Rapids, and St. Thomas Academy, your bottom half. 2A, St. Agnes and Esco, top game there. Cannon Falls and Holy Family. Perham, Foley, Belle Plaine, and Fairmont. 1A, Belgrade and Southridge, Boston and Legacy Christian Academy. That's Hinckley, Finlayson, Lisle, and then Yellow Medicine and New Ulm Cathedral is in the bottom half there. So there's those schools, and we'll have the results, of course, next week. Now, they all play at, you see, different fields. The championships are, I believe, at CHS, if I recall. Hence all the CHS logos all over the place. Here's some other state finals finishing up here for the high school. You got boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse, and clay target. And I'm just going to call it as it is. The clay target finals, the state tournament, I want to see the all-flow team from those boys.
Oh.
You see one kind of nominee here, but you got the farm kids, the hunter kids, they all stereotypically have the long hair and the flow. I'd like to see the all-flow team from the clay target.
Great salad.
They got some cuts there, so. Some Major League Baseball stuff here. Start the standings. These are as of this morning. Rays and Orioles 1-2. Who would have thought that? The Yankees are 9.5 out. And we're in the middle of June. And now I don't usually show the expanded standings this way, but Boston's kind of doing it right. They're at 500, 17-16 at home, 16-17 away, a 0-run differential.
Jeez.
They are doing it right there in Boston.
Okay. Perfect. Exactly half.
Every now and then you see and you'll see it later on. Teams are like 10 games above 500, but have a negative differential in points. It's just Boston's doing it right. Here's the Twins at 500, but they're a plus 40 in run differential. Go figure that one.
Yeah.
So there's a perfect example of how your record and your run differential mean nothing. We're going to get into in this episode how some of these silly stats that this generation has come up with. The Rangers, 5 up on the Astros. Rangers, 149 win differential, 18 games above 100.
This is a team to watch.
Management change right there, baby. That's all I got to say. Because DeGrom's out. Some of those stars they want, it's all management on that team. It's just a fresh look. They had a bunch of players, I think, in the last few years that were that close. They just needed a kick in the butt. But if you look at the bottom there, A's have won 5 in a row.
Wow.
They're only 33 games below 500. The East. There's Braves, Marlins. Look at the Marlins. 8 games above 500. 8 games above 500. And a negative 20 in the differential. Mets 4 games below and negative 23. So, yeah. In the Central, the Pirates, 4 games up, 2 run. Some of these numbers just blow you away. Brewers are a game out. Cincinnati, they called up that young kid, the shortstop there,
De La Cruz.
Ellie De La Cruz, and he is just a stud. You watch Cincinnati. If they don't make a run here, you're going to watch out the trade deadline. Okay, write this down. What's the date today? Today's date, this time,
June 12th.
The Cincinnati Reds will make the playoffs this year.
That is going to be fun to watch.
I just said it. Write it down. Connie, write that down.
They got some talent. And the other thing that they've got, Andy, which you don't see too many times, is the Cardinals essentially having a down year, the Cubs having a down year.
Okay, but like I said,
you got to take advantage of that.
Cardinals are 12 games below 500 and a -1 run differential.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. That run differential stat is kind of blown out of proportion on that. Reds are 4 games below, -34. Reds are 12 games. I'm sorry, Cardinals are 12 games below, -1. So Diamondbacks 3.5 ahead of the Dodgers. Dare I say pulling away, but pulling away.
They're surprising, that group.
Yep. There's the Padres, 3 games below 500 and +19 in run differential. So,
and the preseason, correct me if I'm wrong, but the magazines for Major League Baseball, the predictions, all had the Padres and Dodgers doing major things. Blowing up the National League. Them and the Mets were the 3 kind of teams being talked about. And look at them. Yep. Padres can't even hit 500, and the talent they have on that team.
Speaking of,
hey,
I'm a reporter first.
Okay, report the facts.
Here's their schedule for this week right now. They were at Pittsburgh Sunday. They have a day off today.
Subway Series.
The Subway Series for 2. A day off, then they got a home game. So Tuesday, Wednesday against the Yankees, and you know what? With the exception of ESPN, I don't think anybody really cares. The Yankees aren't doing that great. They're 9.5 out. Mets are the Mets right now. I don't hear a lot of excitement about this series right now, which is kind of sad.
I haven't heard anything until you brought this up. So you're right. Yeah, there's not a lot of press.
Pete Alonso popped off the other day. Game against the Braves. He hits a home run. He starts chanting, "Throw it again. Throw it again. Please throw it again." I was watching that game. The home run he hit, he crushed.
Yeah.
He's talking smack. Well, next day he caught one in the wrist. He's out 3 to 4 weeks with a bruised bone. Now, I'm just going to say this out right here. I'm old school. You talk up a pitcher like that, if not the next at bat, the next day, you're getting hit.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. The fact that him in the wrist instead of in the butt or in the back, that's part of the game. I'm sorry.
That's the risk you take. Yeah.
You're gonna pop off. First of all, if you don't think you're getting thrown at the next at bat or the next game, you're an idiot. So with that said, I love Pete Alonso. I love my Mets, but you know what? You're going to talk the talk. You're going to have to pay it.
Yeah. There are consequences.
We said at the beginning of the year, or I said, Edwin Diaz comes back this year to pitch. It'd be because the Mets are out of it and they're just giving him some innings. But right now he's on pace where he might be able to come back this year. And the way they're going, it's going to be just to get some innings and get some work in and draw some fans at the end of the year because they're going to be 15 games below 500 and hoping to be ahead of the Nationals out of last place. There's Daniel Vogelbach.
The man, the legend.
That might be the last time you see him in a Mets uniform. Because they've signed the right-handed version of Daniel Vogelbach. The Mets have signed Luke Vogt of the Brewers. Vogelbach's just not doing it. Again, he was the plug last year because you just need that fresh face. Kind of a fresh manager comes into your DH. Vogt has more first base experience than Daniel. If Pete's going to be out with this injury, Vogt signed a minor league deal. We'll see what happens. And they're my team. I'm still going to talk about them.
That is a fact. Okay, fair enough.
The Twins?
Yes.
I'm not going to be twin bashing here. I'm just reporting the facts. This moron at Twins Daily is calling Kepler the GOAT.
Well,
Matt Braun.
Okay, is this it? Is this the article?
This is the story. Here we go.
Okay.
He's ranking right up there with great outfielders like Denard Span and Kadire and Jock Jones and God forbid we forget Matt Lawton. Jesus Christ. Because he's got these made-up stats, the FWAR, whatever that is. Stop. Stop, young man. Just stop.
Well, now can we go back a sec there because Andy, I do agree. I did see this article come through, and this whole season, I signed up for something, and I'm getting these notifications from Twins Daily on my phone, and I have tried a couple times to unsubscribe. I can't deal with it. The headlines, the articles, the predictions from these guys
They're not the 27 Yankees, boys.
No, it's almost embarrassing reading some of these articles. And I'm a Max Kepler fan, and I think he does play great defense. But you're starting to throw around words and acronyms like GOAT, and it's over the top. So if there's listeners out there or fans of reading these articles, just read them with a grain of salt. They're fair enough for water cooler talk, but you almost think
a better F war or whatever that is. I mean, I was reading one earlier today about Jack Clark, former first baseman for the Giants and for the Cardinals back in the 80s. But if he's Hall of Fame worthy, 340 home runs, 260 average. He had more walks than RBIs one year, and he had over 100 on both. So he was a very patient hitter, all this and that, but just no rings. And yes, they showed this one stat. He had a better stat than Ken Griffey Jr. and this star and that star and that star. Great. How many rings did he have? Now, does that keep him out of the Hall of Fame? Probably.
Yeah.
Because he had nice numbers, don't get me wrong. Some guys go, well, you played 13 years, only had 340 home runs. Well, for the era he played in, that was pretty good. So, he had 20 home runs or 25 home runs a year for most of the time. So, not bad. Yeah, just stop with your making up a stat just to say you're one of the best.
Oh,
he did the best when he faced pitchers who were born in November. He had better numbers against pitchers born in November than Kirby Puckett did, so he's the better outfielder. Stop, Matt Braun, you're an idiot. Thor is on the DL.
Thor.
Now, from other reports I read earlier in the week, he might have got moved to the DL just to make trading or releasing him a little easier.
Okay.
Thor might be he might be our new intern by the All-Star break. Let's just put it that way. He's going to be looking for a job, I think, pretty soon. Is he going to go back to the Mets or to the Twins? Probably not. Now, could he go to a contender to maybe be that sixth starter for a long stretch or a long reliever? If he's willing to swallow his pride and try it, sure.
Texas Rangers, maybe?
The Rangers, Toronto. So you want to pick up that sixth starter. The Mets, for a while, because of the one pitcher they had from the Japanese League, were going with six starters, so he always pitched on the same rhythm.
Okay.
A lot of teams, because of the pitch clock, are thinking of going to a six-man rotation. So does Syndergaard get picked up to help eat up innings? He'll be your quote-unquote sixth starter, but he's also basically the bullpen by committee starter too. Let him be the starting rotation pitcher, go through his bit, like the starting pitchers do. They're warm-up, so he's in the same use to that, but you also know you're getting about 4 innings out of them. 3-4 innings, like a reliever. So does he go somewhere? Does he go to Arizona? Who knows? Just look for him to be in a different uniform by All-Star break. Our stat of the week, Dan.
All right. Now, what is it? Looking forward to this.
Here we go.
Does it involve Tony Gwynn at all?
No. Actually, not. Tony Gwynn or Greg Maddux are not involved. June 11th, 86, Charlie Huff goes 13 innings
My God.
against the Twins in the 80s. Well, it's because it was the 80s and he threw a knuckleball. He went 13 innings and got no decision. The Rangers scored 4 in the top of the 16th and won 6-2.
Wow, that is a stat right there.
13 innings. And Charlie Huff was no young kid in 86 either. But that was the knuckleball. Can you imagine if the knuckleball's around now with the pitch clock? Holy crap.
Oh, man.
Holy buckets.
16-inning game. He went 13.
13 and got no decision. Ted Williams played Major League Baseball from 1939 to 1960. During that time, he had the highest batting average, most home runs, and most RBIs in all of the major leagues.
Oh,
the career Triple Crown.
Are you kidding me with that stat? I have never seen that.
What? You know? Yeah, he got the rare Triple Crown.
And he had a couple years off.
Yeah, he had to go fight in a war.
Fighting a war in between, and was a career Triple Crown.
Career Triple Crown over that 21-year period.
Oh my God. That is ridiculous right there. That is ridiculous.
You know, when you say the GOAT of baseball for hitting, if Ted Williams wasn't on your Mount Rushmore, whatever symbolism acronym you want to use for it, hey, Matt Braun or whatever your name was on the Twins Daily, is Ted Williams okay to be on the Twins greatest if he played for the Twins? Is Max Kepler better than this? Sure.
Oh my God. That is very good.
Here's the last time each Major League Baseball team won a playoff game. And you looked at the bottom there in 2004.
Ouch.
So I'm just wondering if the promotion people for the Twins next year, I think I have a thing like for the 20th anniversary of our last playoff win.
They might have to do that in the promotion.
Have the 2004 team come out. And,
that's a 5-year gap from the second worst.
Yeah. Not saying they haven't made the playoffs since then. I'm sure they have. They haven't won a game.
The drought, the biggest drought. That's an unreal stat right there. But look at the Reds. The Reds from bottom.
Yeah. Yep. Well, in Kansas City 2015, but they won the World Series that year. Yeah. So, and 2020, the A's at least won a playoff game then. You know, so I was wondering, like I said, next year the Twins got the 2014 come out for the 20-year anniversary and shake hands, wave to the crowd, and
the whole team could come out.
Yeah, they come out. Retire some jersey numbers that day from that team.
Yes. Wow. That's a good stat.
Speaking on the trying not to rip on the Twins bandwagon, days since the last pitcher threw 9 innings in a game. There's a deceiving number between first and second.
Wow, that is 1,100 more than second place. Almost 1,100.
Now that's days, so I'm assuming the kind of full calendar year. So 365 days. Because I looked it up. I think it was 2017. Jose was it Barrios?
Barrios probably was, but
it was him.
That's a long time.
It was him, and then a few days later after that, before that, Bartolo Colon threw one for the Twins. That was the last time we've had 9 innings or a complete game for a Twins pitcher.
Very rare. Okay.
So there you go. And I think that number is going to only climb with the way pitching numbers are going nowadays.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You don't see that at all, hardly.
Here's another stat. Twins are not involved. The Colorado Rockies are the only team this season not to have a pitcher throw a pitch over 99 miles an hour. In today's game, you figure there'd be some guy on your team that does that.
You would think.
We have a couple of relievers, and that's it. It's not our starter.
And that's a good stat. Now, it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. The last stat, it's not, positive or negative, but it's just strange that all these pitchers that can do the triple digits.
Yep.
Colorado hasn't all season, and they played 60-some games, 65.
Yep. Lord Stanley's Cup.
Okay.
That's trophy in baseball. Vegas has a 3-1 lead over the Florida Panthers. 36-1. Teams that are up 3-1 in the best of 7 series are 36-1. I think I saw another stat. Now Vegas has only been around for a few years.
Okay.
They're like 7-0 or 8-0 at home against Florida, and this game's in Vegas. So,
well, that is another tremendous stat.
Zach Whitecloud of Bemidji State will probably be lifting the cup tomorrow night. So watch for that. And here's the schedule: Tuesday, and as far as Florida goes, Friday and Monday are the other games. So there you go.
Yeah.
Soapbox.
Yes. What have we got?
Toronto Blue Jays DFA'ing Anthony Bass just days after he announced that he would be catching the ceremonial first pitch to kick off Pride Week.
Oh yes, I read this.
I'll leave the record up here for you to see. and I'll just kind of paraphrase for it. I'll leave it on there. And those of you listening can just look this up on your Google machine. He basically, I don't want to say popped off. He shared a video of someone on social media. Hey, Bud Light's bad, Target's bad. Don't go to these. They support LGBTQ. You know, he was voicing his opinion, like everybody else who supports it can do. Well, the team didn't like that. He apologized. He took it down. He apologized again. He took it down. But he said, because of my Christian beliefs, I just don't believe that I'm going to support these companies if they're going to support them. So they disqualified him for that. That's my soapboxes. Everyone else can come out there with their messages on their shoes and their love for this on their hashtags, but he can't be anti it. And I'm not picking sides on it. I'm just saying it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
And the only thing I have to say here is to remind folks, he didn't come up with the video. He didn't come up with it and create the video. He just reshared it. He reposted a video that someone else made.
Yep.
But that puts you into that bucket of being anti, which I guess it's anti, but it's not. You know, it's just it's a video post. That's all it is, and you can like it or you cannot. But he's scheduled to catch the opening pitch. He's in the limelight, and that's what happens. And now he gets cut.
He was still willing to go out there and catch the ball during Pride weekend. So if that's not an apology right there, I don't know what more he can do. And here's the sad part. Is any team really going to want to pick him up? Well, does that mean you're supporting him then if you do?
Yes, it creates all this domino effect.
Yep. John Rocker is all I got to say. See this generation's John Rocker, basically. Now, Rocker was much worse than over the line, but still saying. Rocker eventually got picked up by someone later the next year, but is this guy basically done for the year? Is he going to re-sign with and I'm not ripping on a team, but like the A's or the Royals who are out of it anyway, just to be a player to help them out?
Yeah, it's a tough position. You enter into a tough position by all. A lot of people that you and I know, Andy, even just personally share these types of things. But I think if you're a major league professional ball player, you'd have to, if you look at the other side of it, you have to think twice before sharing this on your personal stuff, whether you believe it or not.
You're a ball player, musician, actor,
so it's distracting.
You're a celebrity of any point, movies, actors,
public
any
figure.
sport. Yep. Podcast host. You just can't do that.
Exactly.
Soapbox number 2.
2 of them. A deuce?
It's not even your birthday, and I got a second one for you.
Okay.
I had a third one, but I might bring that up later.
Christmas come early.
The WNBA players were at the Brittany Griner airport incident. There was an issue. And again, I see both sides on it, but still something kind of bothers me. What happened is they were leaving Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Someone confronted them, saying things to Brittany they didn't like it. Rewind a little bit. The WNBA Players Association, they were going, hey, we want commercial. We don't want to be just on these regular flights. We want our own private flights. Geez, we don't know. We don't know. The Phoenix team kind of had a little perks with that because of Brittany, because of what had happened, how she just got back. They were helping them get, charter flights for back-to-back trips and stuff. So this one, they were going to the airport. They got harassed. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't have been harassed. I'm not saying she had it coming for what she did. I'm not saying that. I'm actually standing up for the girls who are going, all the money the NBA teams make, which owns the WNBA, you can't at least afford them private flights to get in and out. Comfortable flights for these athletes. These aren't your regular 5'11", 140-pound females we have flying around here. Okay? These are athletes that are taller, bigger, tired, are going from plane to plane, game to game. Give them some comfort.
Yeah, fair enough.
You expect they're bringing you money, and you're going to have them sit on a plane next to some crying kid 2 seats behind them. So the soapbox is really defending them here. I think I'm defending Brittany and the Phoenix Mercury here and the other players and the whole WNBA that they should have their own private flights. again, I'm not getting into if Brittany had it coming or not for what she said.
Yeah, it's a different
Again,
topic.
she's walking through the airport minding her own business. She was not there. If she was in an event saying, hey, I'm pro CBD and you should have them all over the country or over the world, then yes, criticize her and yell at her all you want. She was going from work to home, basically. Let it go. So.
That's interesting.
Speaking of said WNBA. Okay, this isn't on here, but here's kind of my other one I'm going to bring up. A lot of, I think it was at least 3 or 4 teams the other day, they retired uniform numbers for these gals. The Lynx had a player. Seattle had one. And I've noticed this with all sports. It's just since it happened in WNBA yesterday, it's fresh on my mind. The way these athletes dress to show up for games, it's embarrassing. College athletes are a little better, but some of these women showing up the other day, I'm not saying you got to come in a ball gown like you're going to the Tourney Awards, but don't dress like you're going to Walmart either. Okay? I just wear something decent, church casual, if you will. It is an event. They're honoring you. The gal from the Timberwolves had this like big baggy bibs on and a hat. Really? That's just all athletes. Since theirs was yesterday, I'm using that as an example. But WNBA, here we go with the standings. Okay. Eastern Conference, Connecticut 8-2, still running away with it. New York 6-2. Washington, Chicago, Atlanta, and Indiana kind of top off your Eastern Conference there. New York's kind of got a super team too. They're saying with some all-stars, so those two should be tight. And Connecticut is one, like we just said before, I said, well, the NBA teams own you guys. What Connecticut team is in the NBA? They're the exception to the rule. It's just the women's team there is so popular and so good for college, they got a women's pro team.
Oh, is that it? I did not know that. That's a good trivia question.
That's why UConn's there. Paige Beckers is back at practice, by the way, this week.
Okay.
And for the West, Vegas 8-1, Dallas 5-4. Lynx, they won yesterday against Los Angeles. I watched the game on TV. Lynx, it was their 6th straight game. They're 2-4 or 2-3 out of the last 5 or something like that of games decided by 5 or less points. So if you do the whole point differential thing again for Lynx, they're right up there, but they're 2-7.
Okay.
Good young team, good strong coach.
So very competitive in all the games, although the record doesn't reflect it. All the games are close.
We have those 4 championships out of 8 or 9 years. All those players retired like within a 2-year period. So rebuilding is the word. And speaking of the WNBA, Ion is a channel you find on your antenna, your cable system. Friday nights, you can catch a WNBA doubleheader every Friday night on Ion.
Okay. So
keep an eye out for that. Catch some basketball there. Usually a regular game like 7 o'clock start, then a West Coast game. Usually Phoenix or LA have been one of the 2 teams because there are 2 West Coast teams. So watch that there. And that, sir, is what I have.
That's good. That's good stuff. So I've got some other sports here to fill in, and then we'll get to the trivia question. But the sports, I'm going to piggyback Andy off the Twins, and this isn't hate, but just think of this stat.
Yep.
Twins lead all major league teams in strikeouts. All teams, if you add up the batting, strikeouts, not pitching. Now, I think they're also second or third in pitching strikeouts. But if we're focusing on hitting, Twins are striking out a lot. That's every team goes through a phase. But the Twins lead the majors in strikeouts to date in this season by a bunch. It's not even close. Now,
without sitting in the lineup.
I did the statistics and looked at our AAA farm club of the kids coming up. The Twins minor league system in AAA, the St. Paul Saints, leads all AAA teams with batting strikeouts.
Well, we've had so many guys going up and down, and it's kind of odd.
But would you have your, AAA lead the International League and the Pacific Coast League for that matter? All 30 teams, the Saints have the most strikeouts as hitters. the Major League affiliate, the Twins lead the majors, all 30 teams in strikeouts. I thought that stat was interesting. Now, on the offset of that, the Twins are leading the American League Central, and the St. Paul Saints have the third best record in all of AAA baseball. Third best. So they're winning. They're doing good. They just are on this strikeout kick. Then they strike out so frequently. It's all I'm bringing this up for. It's the only reason. But I thought it odd that, the AAA and the Major League both would lead the country essentially in strikeouts. Now, Saints are third. Guess who they play this week in a 6-game series? The Louisville Bats, who are in second place. Last week, I, on this very show, looked forward to the Saints playing the Cubs because they were in second place. Well, the Saints won 4 out of 3 there, pushing the Cubs to third place. Louisville now jumps up to second, and the Saints find themselves traveling to Louisville for a 6-game series against the number 2 team. So number 1 against number 2, for those who are watching that series, that should be a very good series also.
Yep.
NBA game 5 tonight. USFL 10. Oh, go ahead.
Who's Louisville, the minor league team for?
Cincinnati Reds.
Who just lost their shortstop. So
Cincinnati,
they might be on the downfall.
Good in the majors, already making a stand, and it's really good in AAA as well, much like the Twins and the Saints.
Yep.
Now, NBA Game 5 of the finals is tonight. NHL Game 5 is tomorrow. USFL final weekend coming up. There's 10 teams in the league. 8 teams in the league. They play a 10-game season. They're done. Playoffs will come. A lot of teams in that group all are sitting at 3-6, 4-5, 5-4 records. They're all bunched up. There's only one team that's qualified for the playoffs, and we only have 1 week to go. So a lot of good games coming up there. The NCAA baseball, Andy, Division III wrapped up. Yeah. Champions awarded. The trophies were handed out. Division II champions were trophies were handed out. They're done for Division II. All that's left now for baseball in college is D1. After tonight, they'll be down to the Elite 8, which means College World Series. They'll head off the final 8 teams starting for Friday in Omaha.
Yep.
For the College World Series. That should be fun to watch. Now, for the trivia question, Andy.
One more thing I got for you that I didn't bring up. I was going to bring up earlier. The XFL reported they lost $60 million this year.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for those guys to make any money. They're not bringing much in, and they're spending a lot, and all the stuff that they're doing is expensive. They got big marketing people, executive people, CFOs, CEOs, TV deals, and contracts, and it's going to be a couple of years to do anything with these leagues, I think, but I don't think they plan on losing $60 million.
I'm curious after those playoffs what the USFL's numbers are after 2 years. Profit.
Well, I think once it's done, once the playoffs are done, the regular season's done, and the season ends, they can financially, I think, compare notes, because I think what they ultimately always wanted to do was have both kind of fail on purpose, then merge them together,
right,
to save costs and stuff. And that's probably what they're going to do, but we'll see. We'll see. Now,
well, the first year the USFL did have only one city like that. That was a good thing.
It's interesting, but we'll see here what they do. Now, trivia question, Andy, do you have an answer for the trivia question? The question is, Seattle's hosting the All-Star game this year, and we're in the cap. It's not till next month, but there's a reason I'm bringing that up. But how many times has the city of Seattle hosted the Midsummer Classic in Major League Baseball? They've done it before. How many times do you think?
Okay, I'm going to take a guess because around long enough, so at least once in the Kingdom. And when Seattle got their new stadium, Major League Baseball really tried to get an all-star game there right away when it was built. But I'm going to think there was one other one that might have slipped in there, so I'm going to say 3 other times.
Close. The answer is 2. And so this will be their third. And that is the case. They did host once in the Kingdom. Then they hosted once when they got the new ball field. The year they hosted it, by the way, was 2001. The year Seattle won 116 games. Got to the ALCS and got beat by the Yankees and never made it to the World Series. So they had a record 116 wins. But as far as the All-Star game is concerned, it's coming up. It's not till next month. But the MLB voting, the first round of voting, goes through the 22nd of June is when they have everyone vote. Vote early, vote often, go online and vote for all your favorite. And what they're going to do is get the starters, basically starters named, or the starters and the first round. Then they'll start again with the second round to kind of fill out the teams, and they'll do that as well. And then they'll get down to what the rosters will be like. And that game is not till July. But the thing I wanted to mention,
I saw
what's that?
Louis Rise is leading for second baseman.
Oh, he is. I couldn't find a spot that shows the current standings.
I saw that today, and the good thing is now is, okay, like I said earlier, Freddie Freeman's walking away with first base national league. Slam dunk. He's a stud. With Alonso being injured and not coming back to the All-Star break, first of all, he's not going to want to be in the home run derby just coming off that wrist injury. So back-to-back champ. You're going to have a new home run champ this year. But now that opens it up for another first baseman, which means if someone does pass or rise for second base, he could always still play first. So he kind of has that. But he's leading for second baseman.
It'll be interesting. You never know. And this is all fun, but we've talked about in the past too how the All-Star game itself has kind of lost its luster.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to mention tonight on the show is the thing that I like about the All-Star weekend is that futures game is Saturday. The draft is going to be tied in with this. They're going to broadcast on TV the first round, I think, of that draft as part of this whole weekend festivities in Seattle. And they're having the top first round guys head up there, and they're going to be announcing them and doing interviews with the first round draft picks that weekend. The futures game, they've got the home run hitting contest, a lot of things going on. I'm not a big guy to watch the game itself, but the futures game is good. The home run hitting contest is good, and I'll be certainly watching that draft. So that's all I've got for Seattle as far as wearing the cap and stuff. I think that will be fun. Anything else in the All-Star game, Andy? Do you watch
I like the futures game. I did share a post this week. I can't remember if it was on my page or the show page. They did have a skills competition when there was Benito Santiago throwing out that little cutout at second base where the ball would have to go to the pit. Bring that stuff back. Have tires at second base and home for the outfielders to hit. A carpet for bunting, like they do in the European and Japanese leagues. Have more skills stuff, not just home run highlight stuff.
That would be good. And these events to go to, I checked on the ticket prices for, and whether it's Seattle, who's ever hosting, but it's $35 to go to watch that. I think the futures game, $35 to go to the home run hitting contest. And these things typically almost sell out. Home run contest.
That's not bad. $35 if you think about it.
But it's that whole nother stream of revenue coming in with 40,000 fans coming in to watch a home run contest. The money that they're making on this. So they're calling certain events, the red carpet events for some of these things. But I like the fact that they got the draft built in. And the futures game, if folks don't know what that is, that's your future prospect guys in the farm system, the affiliates, the rising
It's
star.
the minor league all-star game.
It's the minor league all-star game, regardless of class AAA, AA, or single A. It's the best of the best. Kind of like the fall league is what they do. And these are some talented guys. So those all are part of that whole package that takes place on All-Star Weekend. So
yeah, should be fun. Fun stuff. Little plug for the third.
Yes, go ahead.
The Thursday show, a little plug for our episode. Our second annual non-grata interview. Did it last January, do it again this January. June.
It's late.
Wow. So yeah, this Thursday, non-grata will be on for the songs episode. Check that out.
We'll be having them on as far as our songs episode. Second time we've interviewed those guys. They've got a new EP coming out. Be sure to watch the show. Have a good week, everyone.